Hello and welcome back to another day in the woods or in our new garden. What a nice drastic change that was in the last vlog. But today is an exciting day because we are putting down our subfloor in the downstairs bathroom. I've done all the necessary work of preparing all the materials that we're going to be using, as well as somewhere to mix it and a pathway to get into the house. I also lay a bed of sharp sand and some DPM down, which is damp-proof membrane, to stop the moisture from rising up and damaging the concrete that we're putting in here. It needs a tiny tidy up in here because stuff from above has obviously fallen into it, which makes me think today it wouldn't be a terrible idea to hang a sheet off the joist in the ceiling, just so if I work upstairs, none of it's going to fall down onto the concrete floor. But yeah, I don't know how easy that's going to be. I'll have to try and find another sheet to cover it up, as it's going to be easier to fix something to the joist up there than it is trying to do something down here. But as I mentioned, the floor is quite dirty, so I need to grab my hoover and just hoover up some of this debris that's fallen down and prepare for the concrete to go in. When Mark gets here, he'll have a better idea of how the DPM against the wall is going to work, as well as stuff like around the soil pipe where it's a bit all over the place. Fortunately, my mom has a cement mixer and Mark's done this a lot. So between the two of them and the help that we've got, we should get this all done in a day. There is a caveat, which I didn't think about. It's the same situation when I concrete it in the floor. It takes roughly 48 hours to cure to a point where it's walkable. However, it takes up to 28 days for it to properly cure. So there is going to be a bit of a while there before I can like screed it and put self-leveling compound on the floor. But in 48 hours, it should be hard enough that I can probably get like a plywood sheet or something, just cut a square out and temporarily put a toilet in here. So at least in a couple of days, we will have a toilet. I've been talking about this a lot, I know, but everything changes, variables change, people's availability, and when they're not available and stuff like that, it all changes. Like I didn't know I was going to be doing this, but here we are a few days later, about to put a concrete floor in. So yeah. Hopefully this all goes to plan. Preparation complete, just need to remove a couple of tiles and we are good to concrete the floor. Mark has brought his laser level machine. Basically it beeps and tells you the right height so we can keep a consistent level throughout this room. We are going with 100 mil of concrete, so it'll be a nice thick slab, and we're doing like a 5:1 ratio, I think, so perfect for a subfloor. There are dips and valleys in the floor, which is not surprising. So in the very middle of the room, I think it's like 110, but it's going to be plenty thick enough to do what we're doing. But we're all ready to go. I've got the camera up in the corner there, and I've got another camera outside where we're mixing. Cue the music, and let's get this floor concreted. Bosh. I had no intention of filling this trench in, but we filled it. That went by so fast and so smoothly. Unfortunately, however, for the last, I don't know, like 4 odd hours, I've been glued to my phone, sorting stuff out the banks and boring stuff. So this day has literally disappeared. But whilst I was gone, everyone came through and put their hands or footprints in the trench, which is nice. I accidentally spilled water on mine, so you can't really see it. But yeah, we've got our handprints in there. However, filling the trench in wasn't even the goal today. Getting a concrete pad in the bathroom, however, was. And oh boy, am I happy with the result. We have a brand new concrete pad on the floor in here. And Mark has absolutely crushed it. He was so helpful. I learned how to do so much with this, like the right consistency, how to tamp it. His laser measure was like so useful to getting this exactly at the depth we wanted it, or the height we wanted it. So it actually falls ever so slightly below like the ground level. If I lay this piece of wood here on the finished floor level, you can actually see right there, we've got a nice space, right? Because the next job in here, as I've already discussed, is to put self-leveling compound on this. So Mark's obviously done a very good job of getting this as level as humanly possible, but there will be sections ever so slightly where it might be a mil higher here or a mil lower there, etc. And that self-leveling compound, as it describes, will self-level. It will completely fill the whole floor, and it will find its own level. It's super easy to do. I've done it in the garage on a much bigger space. So, in a month probably from now, because you have to wait quite a long time for this to fully cure, I'll be able to put self-leveling down, and the floor is just done. Obviously, I would need to tile it and bits like that if we decide to go with tiles in here. But this is actually major progress in the house. I'm so happy with how it's all come around. Mark says in 24 hours it should be pretty dry, and you can probably lightly walk on it. But to be safe, I'll probably wait a couple of days before we try and put a toilet in there and hook all that kind of stuff up. But yeah, I am very happy with that result. We have got a solid foundation for our bathroom. The downside, however, is I obviously mentioned about putting a sheet on this ceiling. And yeah, that's not happened. In the end, it was like, well, worst case scenario, I could put a sheet up there. But ultimately, in a day's time when it's dries, it's not going to really matter if little bits and bobs fall on it anyway. I could just hoover it off. It's not going to be still wet in 24 hours at least. I hope not. But I'm so happy with that. Major progress. Unfortunately, this day, as I said, has fallen apart. And I just know because I time-lapsed it all, the time-lapse is really not going to make up the time in this vlog. But I can't do anything else in the house now because I need to wait for the pipe delivery to do all the plumbing, which hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next vlog, we should be able to get all of the plumbing done in this room. Assuming that it's properly dry in here, I will be able to fiddle around upstairs getting pipes laid out where I want them. But yeah, great success. I'm so great, thankful and grateful for family and friends coming around to help me do stuff like this, because trying to do it all myself, whilst I am a rather ambitious person taking on a lot of projects in this house and doing crazy things like switching out the water mains that everyone likes to watch back, never be afraid to ask for help or accept it when it's offered. And Mark was very kind on the very few days he ever gets off, because he's a farmer, to actually come all the way down and help us lay the floor in here, as well as my mum coming down. My sister came down to help as well. Alex and Max came an hour to come and help. Brittany and Martin came an hour to come and help. People are traveling all over the place just to help us. And honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, me and Jess and the family, we're so grateful. I know it might seem like just a tiny step towards getting the house done, but man, does it make one hell of a difference. I mean, look, just look at the garden. From this point onwards, it's like a completely different environment. I can't wait to actually start turning this into more of an allotment so Jess can grow things and we can get some like veg and stuff. I do need to fill in all of there just to get it all sealed and do some general repair on like the lean-to, like for the garage and stuff. I've also discovered, which I don't think I've mentioned, I know a lot of people ask or mention it in the comments, but that roof right there, that is asbestos. It's not technically my roof, even though it kind of falls on over the boundary and stuff like that. But if I take that roof off, it reveals my neighbour's like garage, room, storage, whatever. But yeah, that is asbestos. So gonna have to have a discussion about what to do with that. Well, I could just literally just turn straight away and get into the garden. I have to admit, it does feel like we've just ripped out loads, but it was just, majority of it was either weeds, hedges, or just like bags of random things just dumped around. And the fact that it's all cleared out now gives us a really nice idea of where to lay things out and move things and put pathways and stuff. I know Jess wanted to keep the trees, but because they're self-seeded, whilst it's nice to have that tree in the garden, I think it would be nicer for us to actually pick trees ourselves, or even my aunt and uncle, as I've said before, gardeners and landscapers, they actually grow trees on their plot of land. And it'd be nice to have some of their trees cut, like, and we can put some of those in the ground as well. Because, yeah, I mean, we've still got all of this. This is what I mean, but like, let me show you. Over here, it looks like a lot, right? It looks like there's loads in there, but in reality, when you take that out, it looks like that. Because that just one hedge takes up so much space, and then all of the other like bits and bobs like foliage is just suffocating actual plants and like nice trees. So once you take all of this out, it really opens up the space, and it does feel very barren. And it's like, oh my god, we've just gutted the garden, and it's almost like it loses its touch or like its feel. But here's another great example, right? This tree here is like a Japanese, I call it a wiggly tree, mainly due to its really funky branches. But this tree is just being suffocated by self-seeded like trees that have popped up around it. And as lovely as it is, because it's casting a nice bit of shade over this particular area, it's killing off the tree. So these need to come out. You know what, I'm actually really tempted. I'm gonna go grab a chainsaw right now. Right, nobody shout at me, but I'm saving my wiggly tree, okay? It has to be done. Right, that tree is gonna fall that way. Well, it's being saved by a branch, but this one here. I'm probably going to take an apple to the head. Come down. Self-seeded tree. Probably going to do more damage than this. Right, this one can come out. Should be able to pull this one out. It's kind of tangled in the apple tree. That's like the least dramatic timber ever. Oh, sorry. I'd be interested to know if this actually affects the light in here at all. Yeah. Pull this one this way. And then well, I might have to go this way. Apples! Apple's gonna get me. Sweet. I might be doing this, trying to save this tree, but it's dead. I really hope not. It's got some leaves on it, get a couple more of these down. Nice. But I heard a sound. It sounded like an apple was falling on my head. I think I need to pull this one out a little bit. I don't hurt the other tree. Look at that. I can see my wiggly tree. Right, I think there's literally like 3 more little bits. That one's like well and truly up there. Come down, the funky piano. Sweet. No! God dang it. Oh! Oh, I snapped one of the branches off. But at the very least, the wiggly tree can breathe. I'm not entirely sure if I need to take it out from like the root or what the case is, but I'll get this one out. Into there. Pull this one out. One thing I do really need to do is prune that apple tree. Oh my god, there's so much more light in here now. It's mad. One more. And it's just little bits. I think we have freed our tree. Oh, I don't know if I've saved it or I just got rid of some self-seeded trees. I don't really know, but there's so much more light now. The wiggly tree is now free from shade. I might do what's been done here and trim this apple tree a little bit, but I don't know, I kind of like that it arches over here, but it's also invading a little bit on this tree. But yeah, need to tidy up this bit down here, but hopefully it grows again. I can't wait to get some like professional help in the garden. Is that another apple tree? I think it is. There's 3 apple trees. I was just following this trunk wondering what it is, and if you follow it all the way up, you can actually see up there, these apples are coming from this tree. But yeah, I can't wait to get some professional help in to like tell me, like, if you cut this branch here, it'll bring the tree back to life, kind of shock the tree and bring it back to life. Or if it's past saving, or, you know, maybe it was actually just fine, but because of the season, it looks like it's dying. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look great. It feels really brittle, and I can't see a realm where it being suffocated by another tree is good for it. So yeah, I want to keep our Japanese tree alive, and that has made a lovely difference. Oh, it looks like this apple tree is actually being uprooted at the bottom there. It looks like it's falling. Either that or there's just a pile of junk on it, but it is heavily leaning. I don't know what to do about I want to keep all the fruit trees. I've just noticed as well, there's a string holding it. It must be tied to a tree over there. But man, there's 3 apple trees in a row. So we've got the big one over there. We've got one here and another one here that like arches over. But at some point that has also been pruned, because look, it's been cut right there, and this tree is now like thriving. It's got loads of branches off it and new apples are coming through. And I would like to say that it is another cooking apple tree. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I don't even know when the best time to pick these apples are. My nan will know best, because my nan used to make a really good apple crumble. It's probably why it's my favourite dessert, to be fair. But there's, oh, horsefly on me. There's another tree right there that you see this like Y. I don't know how alive that one is. It looks like, I don't know what this, I always say it's laurel. It's not though, I don't think. It's these leaves. Yeah. This apple tree's definitely seen better days, because there's quite a lot of dead branches on this apple tree. But yeah, back to my wiggly tree. I'm kind of hoping, because there are leaves on it, it's still okay. But again, if you look over here, they're, yeah, not great. So, yeah, this is like brittle as anything. It like just falls off. I'm really hoping that me freeing up like these branches here helps this tree again. But anyway, thanks for joining my random segment of cutting down some self-seeded trees that have been there for ages. I have been told by a landscaper that they are self-seeded, so I think it was perfectly okay for them to come out. After all, I do live in the woods, surrounded by lots of different types of trees. Or lots of these self-seeded trees, like they're all over the woods, so I'm quite happy to take trees out the garden. I know Jess really liked how, like, not dark and dingy it was, but do you know what I mean? It was like shaded and like it felt like a little fairy garden because it was so overgrown. But I think just because of the sheer amount of trees that we have like around the woods, it would be nice in the garden to have like different ones. So when you come into our garden, it doesn't look the same as the rest of the wood. It's like a little paradise in here. But we were just chilling in the small lawn we have, talking about like how helpful friends have been, like coming down to help us do everything here, including like clearing out the house. But I think after the kitchen escapade and the sheer destruction in that room, that I think is probably the best use of people, that whilst I'm cracking on trying to do the house, as it is for the most part a one-man job, depending on if people want to get involved. Like Brittany and Martin don't really want to do much like DIY building type stuff. Quite happy to gut stuff out, and I think one of the best, like, or one of the realizations from doing the garden over the last couple of days has been, if and when people do decide they want to come down and help, just like clearing things up and tidying up like just rubbish in the bushes and piles of rubble that are everywhere, just making it a nicer environment. Because I couldn't tell you how many times Benjamin runs up the trench, or the old trench, and falls over, and there's God knows what on the floor. So getting it like cleared out will just make such a nice difference, especially for the kids, of having a garden to play in. Don't get me wrong, the seasons are changing now, so when winter hits, it's going to become very bare and you'll be able to see a lot more, I imagine. But it's just mad. I can't get over how different it is in the garden. And one thing I didn't even realise until earlier today, my nan said to me that my granddad has made like a bunch of things in the garden. And in the soon-to-be allotment, we discovered these gates that he made. So it'd be really nice to put these back in, because they're in really, really good condition. I think they're currently tied to the wall. Yeah, they're currently tied to the wall. But if we can repurpose these and actually use them somewhere, even like putting a gate here for the actual allotment, I think that would be so nice. There are just so many hidden treasures inside the garden that we are just yet to uncover. These things, by the way, are literally barely holding on. They are on the verge of falling at any given moment. They are rotted right down to the core. I think the plan is to keep this hedge line around here, to section off the allotment, put the gate back in so you can get in there, and just keep on top of the hedge. But it's a nice segregation. But for the time being, as I need access at this end because of where the trench is going to go, and is that a squirrel? I think so. Where the trench is going to come across the wall here, it needs to kind of get to the garage and then go straight through the wall. Not the trench itself, but all of the stuff, the utilities that are coming out of the ground, it needs to go into the garage. So this area here needs to be cleared up, and ideally this tree likely wants to come out and be moved. Maybe that one as well. I don't know what that is. It looks like a laurel. Every tree looks like a laurel to me, but this is a really, really pretty tree. But it needs, or a bush, I don't know. It needs coming out and moving somewhere else, so I can actually gain access into the allotment, and we can mainly focus on like fruit and veg in there, or mainly veg, I guess, because we've got so much fruit in the garden. which we are yet to pick. I need to get a ladder out and start picking some of this stuff. If you know when we should pick cooking apples or damsons and plums and all these different things that we've got in the garden, let me know in the comments down below, because it'd be very, very helpful. But after making some progress today with one large stepping stone, it is indeed time for me to wrap up today's vlog. I am gonna feel rough tomorrow. I can already sense it. What you wouldn't have seen is that we ran out of ballast, so we had to go run out. My brain is falling apart. We ran out of ballast, so we had to go out and buy some more. Probably 22 bags more of it, and we had to haul it all the way up to the house. And oh my god, yeah, my body's giving in. I'll be honest. I was like sitting at my desk earlier, and it felt like I got a dead arm. Maybe it's just due to overwork or something, but it's not good. We've got 4 bags of cement left, 1 bag of ballast. We went for approximately 40 odd bags of ballast to get the concrete done. So in one sense it's good, because you know we got this concreted out here as well as in the house, and I've got a bit of ballast remaining, so I can use that to concrete up the holes that I've got in the lean-to. But yeah, it's been quite an expensive endeavor that I hadn't initially planned on doing. I know I've talked about a lot today, putting self-leveling compound on that floor, but that might actually wait for quite a while, just so I can focus on getting the bathroom upstairs completely done and good to go, so the money's, you know, invested in getting into the house, because the bathroom downstairs, realistically, it doesn't need to be done. Once I've got the plumbing in there and a concrete floor, I can put the toilet in there temporarily. I can put washing machine tumble dryer in there and take it out the conservatory, and I can plumb that in temporarily. And then when it's like, you know, when it's time to do that room, I can just take the stuff out, do the walls, do the ceiling, and then self-level the floor, put new tiles down, and that room is done. It won't take long at all to get that room finished. It's just making sure I'm spending my money in the right places. As obviously, I don't know, 22 bags or whatever ballast I got today, I think it cost me 80 quid, something like that. And yes, it would have been probably more affordable for me to get like a ton bag, and then just moved it all down, but it would have been another extra step of taking it, like moving everything down. So we kind of paid for a bit of convenience and easier ways of measuring exactly how much ballast to put in versus concrete and stuff. So yeah, not ideal from a financial perspective on that, but so far to do that floor, it's probably cost me the best part of 200 quid, I think, something like that, because of the cement, the DPM, the sharp sand I obviously put down, and the ballast to mix it all. Granted, I didn't have to hire a cement mixer because my mum came over and let me use hers. And then you don't even think, like, all the money that I'm spending on this house, you don't include how much labor costs, or like actually having a plumber come out, for example, or an electrician come out, or all these people come out. I think I was told it's like roughly 300 quid per day. So if you add that on as well, we are saving money doing it all ourselves. And it might not be like 100% up there at professional level, but it's good enough for us. And in many ways, it feels way more gratifying to build this house interiorly wise ourselves. And in years, that's why I can totally understand why it could be, you know, somewhat upsetting to watch, or it could be uncomfortable to watch me just rip stuff out, because my nan and granddad spent 50 years of their life building this house up to where they wanted it to be, and I'm just here with a hammer taking it out. Do you know what I mean? So I understand how that feels, because I'm investing my time now doing the same thing to the house, and in 50 years time, if I get there, it wouldn't be very, you know, comfortable for me to watch someone else do the same thing. So yeah, it's one of those. But anyways, I am actually covered in cuts. Taking down that tree earlier left a rather large gouge in my leg, but it is merely a flesh wound, as they say. If anyone knows that film reference, then shout out to you. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up today's vlog. Thank you so much to the guys over on GoFundMe who are constantly I mean, people are still going over there and contributing. It's mad. Like, I've kind of stopped putting it on screen and promoting it so much, but people still go over and contribute towards it. This, I think this might be the last time, because we're getting close to the end of August, but this is the link. It's probably been on screen already for a while. If you want to go over there and help us build our dream home, our forever home, where we are going to retire and live out the rest of our days, then feel free to go over to that link and do what you want to do. Whether you donate £5 or like Kaylee donated £800, like, you will get a stepping stone in the garden with your name on it, and you will be here forever. That is like a small, but I can't give much back, unfortunately. Like, I feel like that's a nice sentimental thing. However, there may be a really cool video coming up in the future to really make those like stepping stones really nice. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who's gone over there and contributed. Like, it's mad. Like, I'm so blessed to have so many good people around me, whether that's friends, family, and or you guys who tune in to watch me every day chat crap. Like, I mean, this has been one of those days where it's a big leap on the house. It's like a big step in progression. But I haven't really done a great deal. It always feels like that when you time lapse something. It probably took us like 3 to 4 hours to concrete everything in, close to 3 hours. So like that much graft, and yeah, a time lapse that lasts about 30 seconds doesn't really like tally up, does it? But yeah, again, shout out to the guys over on Patreon who get these vlogs early and get sneak peeks at things. I think they've actually, as I film this, they've seen a video about 4 days in advance. Something like that. I don't know, but appreciate you guys who go over to Patreon as well and consistently support me month to month. My family is very, very grateful for your continued support. But as always, it's been Orion. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a fun-filled day of productivity. But yeah, I don't know how the day is going to unfold until I wake up and crawl my way out of bed because I'm in agony. Peace. Much love. Bye-bye. I have done all the necessary prep of preparing. However, we can't wait to get some like professional help who can help me be. But with one large stepping stone in the future. But with one large stepping stone in progress with this. It is indeed time for me to wrap up the vlog, as I haven't really had a great day. Don't get me wrong,